Well, it was fun while it lasted, but it looks like MrBeast is hit yet another road bump. The hits keep coming for this guy. I guess you can only remain on top for so long, and it is getting messy. Basically, what's happening is MrBeast and Amazon, which he is creating a new television show for, are being sued for the competition show they're running. And things are not sounding too great. I definitely want to talk about this thing. Also, I do want to mention that I'm going to be talking on the back half about the new Warhammer 40k game and what is happening with it, because it's looking like the CEO of the company Saber Interactive, who made the video game, has come out and made some comments, and the press is not liking it, and chances are that they are trying to nuke this guy out of orbit and that company and Warhammer 40k in general, because they don't like it when people push against narratives, and that is exactly what's happening here. So let's go ahead, talk about MrBeast and some Warhammer 40k. As always, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, hit that subscribe button though. It's helping us a ton. We're growing pretty quickly now. And also, make sure to visit criticalist.com. Yes, that's criticalist.com. You can find us in Android and Apple app stores. We're an entertainment reviewing platform for talking about everything that you're enjoying right now and what you're watching, whether it be movies or TV, and hopefully games in the future, which is what we're talking about today. So, all right, first off, though, is MrBeast and what is happening with this dude. This whole story sounds kind of wild, and if you did not know, basically, MrBeast has a television show that has been brewing for some time now over at Amazon Studios. This is following suit with his regular shtick of doing these game show type things. He made one of his biggest hits was where he recreated Squid Game and spent like a truckload of money on it and made a YouTube version of safe Squid Game. And basically, I think that he's kind of leaning into that side of what he's doing. And this show is called Beast Games. But what they're saying is that there are allegations of sexual harassment and chronic mistreatment. And this is going to be, from the sounds of it, an actual class action lawsuit because multiple people are involved. So what it's saying here is a class action lawsuit against YouTuber star MrBeast and Amazon has been filed on behalf of 5 unnamed contestants in the Beast Games reality competition show, alleging they were subject to chronic mistreatment, sexual harassment, and more. The complaint was filed Monday, September 16th in Los Angeles Superior Court. The lawsuit alleges multiple causes of action related to the chronic mistreatment and neglect suffered by participants in Beast Games, a reality competition ordered by Prime Video, which more than 1,000 participants compete for a single $5 million cash prize. The suit claims Beast Games has a $100 million budget. A redacted copy of the complaint is available, and they gave the link here, and I'll give the link to the article as well. This is a Variety article, and so there are some people on MrBeast's half that initially have not commented as of yet, but it sounds like this thing is kind of off to the races already. So it says, according to the lawsuit, Amazon MrBeast Productions Company, an independent production firm, Off One's Base LLC, among other things, filed to pay minimum wages and overtime, failed to prevent sexual harassment, created conditions that subject contestants to infliction of emotional distress, did not provide participants uninterrupted meal breaks or rest breaks, and exposed contestants to dangerous circumstances and conditions as a condition of their employment. So the thing is if you've watched MrBeast's videos, he is the world's biggest YouTuber, but this dude does things that would be considered dangerous to a lot of people, and quite often it happens more involving himself and his teammates, the people on his crew. And like I said, this is continued drama. I mean, there has been a story after story that I don't even want to dig into with him and have chosen not to cover because this is specifically entertainment related, and this is a show that he is working on. And I was quite curious about it because obviously Amazon saw the value in him and what he's doing and decided to invest in him. But the thing is it sounds like he runs a bit of a roughshod operation that doesn't have a lot of checks in place to make sure that things like this aren't happening. And in all honesty, this is not an extreme surprise. This sort of thing has been rumored a little bit already with some of his other game show things. And it sounds like because of him being involved with YouTube and not under the YouTube banner, but just the fact that those are the types of videos that he's making and it's content creator type videos, he was able to skirt around a lot of things that quite often would have gotten people in hot water or trouble, but it is starting to catch up to him over time. And keep in mind, this guy is like 26 years old. He is a YouTube kid who became a famous YouTuber. He's not some older guy that has been around the block and run other businesses or anything like that. He's a young guy who's done nothing but YouTube. His life goal was to become popular on YouTube, and that's what he's done. But the thing is, it sounds like, as far as the businessman aspect, he might need to be getting other more experienced people on board to help right this ship, and he clearly has the money to do it. And I mean, I know that he has people hired on board, but it just sounds like things are not being handled quite properly. So what it says is, while participants knew upon signing the contract at the production's inception that they were facing a potentially long and challenging competition, they allege getting a lot more than they bargained for, attorneys for the anonymous MrBeast contestants said in a statement about the lawsuit. Several contestants ended up hospitalized, while others reported suffering physical and mental complications while being subject to chronic mistreatment, degradation, and, for the female contestants, hostile working conditions. And that's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of allegations here, a lot of things that they are throwing at him, on top of just not even properly getting paid and not getting the proper meal breaks. This is like 101 stuff here. Those are mistakes you can't make. And then the others here that you're piling onto it's not looking good. It says, according to the lawsuit, Beast Games participants were deprived of medical care, food, sleep, and the necessities of basic hygiene. Portions of the lawsuit are redacted, including some of the details involving sexual harassment allegations. The plaintiffs have filed this action using pseudonyms and applying conservative redactions that limit public viewing in the good faith effort to comply with the defendant's overboard confidentiality provisions. So basically, I'm sure that they had them sign all sorts of waivers and things, and so it sounds like they are having to dodge a lot of what they had to sign to come on to do this show, and then between Amazon, MrBeast, all of that stuff, and so it sounds like they are also walking a tightrope with this lawsuit, but they also want to keep themselves private and not make it extremely public yet that they're the ones involved. It says the lawsuit seeks to establish a pattern of sexual harassment, according to the attorneys representing 5 plaintiffs. For example, the complaint cites instructions from an alleged How to Succeed in MrBeast Productions. I found this interesting and kind of funny, honestly. This was an employee handbook that includes: if talent wants to draw a dick on the whiteboard in the video or do something stupid, let them. Really, do everything you can to empower the boys when filming and help them make content. Help them be idiots. So this is, the language in it is honestly really funny. Like, these guys are clearly playing things tongue-in-cheek, even with their handbooks, which is kind of funny. But at the same time, this is probably, when you get this big, I just don't know that you're able to do that kind of thing. And I get what they're getting at here. They're trying to be funny about it, and now they're weaponizing their humor against them, which is kind of a shame. But the thing is it's obviously, this is showing more of the fact that these guys are technically like reality show, and they are basically saying, like, look, we are a reality show, lean into it, do the stuff that reality shows do, where you lean into the drama. And that's a problem that a lot of people have with reality shows, and that's basically what he's been doing for a long time. And that's been some of the accusations that have come out in the past, is that a bit of it is staged. So it says one of the female plaintiffs in the complaint, identified only as contestant 5, said in a statement, "I wanted to join because I was a fan of MrBeast and his videos made me smile during COVID-19 pandemic. I expected to be challenged, but I didn't think I would be treated like nothing, less than nothing. And as one of the women, I can say it absolutely felt like a hostile environment for us. We honestly could not have been respected less as people, much less employees, if they tried." So That's the thing. You're bringing these people on as employees, and this becomes something else. This becomes something bigger than just a bunch of yahoos making stupid YouTube videos. And that's what I'm getting at. Where he has been walking a tightrope for a long time, and it feels like it's just finally starting to catch up with him. And involving contestants and people like this was really where he rolled the dice and gambled. And obviously, this is what a lot of people like about him. But you're running a big production here with Amazon, and these are not the type of mistakes that you can be making. So as extreme as the allegations against defendants are here, the law could not be more clear, said Robert, the lead counsel for the plaintiffs. Participants entered into contracts and they were promised compensation for their services. Their expectation of compensation, along with them being consistently under the control and supervision of the production staff, makes their employees under California law. As such, they are entitled to and detained certain protections. And when you add to that the extreme neglect, degradation, harassment, and inhumane conditions, it's quite simply a massive declaration of duty for which the defendants must and will now be held accountable. And so that's the thing, too. MrBeast made a bit of a mistake here. For one, doing this in California. They have a lot of protections that a lot of other places don't have, and I'm sure that this was a requirement of Amazon, and I'm sure that Jimmy was just like, all right, sure, whatever. But the thing is I'm sure that there is an extra pile of crap that he has stepped in simply by making this show in California. He's used to doing it in North Carolina and other places, and you are in a very liberal state there with a lot of regulations, a lot of rules, a lot of laws, and there is a good chance that and not to say that he should get away with some of this stuff if this is what's happened, that they should get away with any of this, but the fact is that you're going to be held accountable for an extra layer here simply because of where this happened at. So there is a lot happening with this. I'm interested to see what happens in the future. I'm interested to see if this show ever sees the light of day, because the thing is, all 5 of these people were obviously on it, and unless MrBeast and this crew win this lawsuit and things get ironed out and Amazon can sweep it under the rug, this is going to continue to be a blemish on not only them but MrBeast, and he already has enough at this point. He's up to his knees in bullcrap right now with all of the other things happening with him and all of the other allegations, and so I would hate to be him right now. This is a mess. I am curious to see, over time. We will probably know something before too long, so there was no way that I could let this slip and not talk about it, though, because this is kind of an unprecedented deal here that he made with Amazon and what is going on between them. And just with him, he is an outlier as well. This is not common for YouTubers to get as big as he has. Like I said, he's the world's biggest, and at 26 years old, the whole story is wild, but it just sounds like there is a lot of problems happening over at the house of MrBeast, and I would not want to be them right now. So moving on to the Warhammer 40k thing. I know I never talk about video games, but this is more of a cultural issue, and we're talking about doing games in the future, so, there's that as well. But IGN was actually where I first saw this article, and it made me really worry. So what it says, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 dev won't say whether imposing morals on gamers comments from YouTube are from its CEO. So I actually saw a video of this online before I actually saw this article and was curious what was going to happen with the media and if they were going to take this and run with it. But basically, if you were not aware, first and foremost, just set the stage. Warhammer 40k is I guess a tabletop is the best descriptor game that it was forever. And since I've been a kid and it's been around, it's a franchise that is a mostly male dominated franchise. And so they've made this Space Marines 2 game. And it sounds like it is just old school video games. There are a lot of complaints about the gaming industry of late, and it sounds like this one just feels like it was made in like the 2000s at some point. And, you've got a male protagonist. It's very hyper violent. It's very masculine and macho and leans into all of the things that a lot of people like about Warhammer 40k. And just with the handling of this and how it plays, there's no agenda, no nothing. So here's what breaks down with the article here. So it says, Saber Interactive is declining to say whether a YouTube comment circulating on social media, which among other things says that modern games are too complex and too much of an investment, and that there are overblown attempts at messaging and imposing moral on gamers as from the CEO, Matthew Karch. So that's the big thing, is that the CEO of Saber Interactive has been, or not him specifically, but Saber Interactive as a whole has been praised because of this game, and the game is doing gangbusters. Video games are struggling right now. They are not doing well. They are not making a lot of money, even from some of the biggest studios, because gamers are turning on them finally, because they are tired of the agenda. They're tired of the bullcrap. And the thing is that if this is from the CEO, he has basically stepped over a line that the media does not like and does not want you to do. And this could cause problems for him, but I have a feeling he is going to be rallied behind. So this is the YouTube comment. It says, "Hey man, CEO of Saber here. I love your videos. When we signed the deal to make Space Marine 2, all I wanted was a throwback game. We had a chance to work on something which by its nature was old school. I can't even comprehend many of the current games that we play these days. They are too complex and too much of an investment. We worked on Halo back in the day, and that game could be distilled down to the simplest of shooting loops, but it was entirely addicting. That is what we wanted to recapture. I hope that games like Space Marine 2 and Wukong are the start of a reversion to a time when games were simply about fun and immersion. I spent some time as chief operating officer at Embracer, and I saw games that were made me want to cry with their overblown attempts at messaging or imposing morals on gamers. We just want to do some glory kills and get the heart rate up a little. For me, that is what games should be about." And that's what games should be about. That's what a lot of people have been saying for a while. It's not about messaging. It's just about having fun. And this is not a thing that the media wants. This is not a thing that I've been mentioning for a while now. These establishments want. They are trying to push certain agendas down everyone's throat from every angle possible, and video games are among those. And basically what made this go viral is YouTuber Asmongold. This was written to him in one of his YouTube videos, and he read it live. And basically the press has caught wind. And so the thing is I think that the press has been looking for this, looking for a reason to come after these guys since this game launched, since it started having its success. Because what he is saying here is the quiet part out loud that CEOs and people involved with all of these development companies, and even going out into larger entertainment, this is stuff that people are not allowed to say. And it is known that there are a lot of people in multiple industries that feel this way and are just sick of the narratives and the agendas being rammed down everyone's throat, me being among them. And it's why I've just decided to do this YouTube channel and talk about some of this stuff and point some of this stuff out, because it shouldn't be taboo. We should be able to talk about the fact that when we want entertainment, we're coming to it for escapism, not to be propagandized to. And that is exactly what the CEO is saying, but it is also what all of the press have been looking for. And you can guarantee that throughout the day-to-day, there is probably going to be a full-blown jihad against this dude, and they're going to come at him with pitchforks, because this isn't something you can do within corporate America right now. And I hope that more people like him start doing this. If it is in his best interest to go full-blown sticker mule, which is what the CEO of Sticker Mule did a little while back when he was talking about things being divisive, and basically everyone turned on him as well. And I think that that's what this guy should do, and I think more and more people should start doing it, because we need to push back. Culture can only be won if people are willing to speak out and speak their peace of mind, and that is where we are right now, is people are starting to open their mouths and start talking more freely about the things that are bothering them. And it doesn't make them right-wing, it doesn't make them alt-right or whatever. Most of these people just are sick of the propaganda, and they don't want to take part in it. And I think that that's exactly what's happening here. And just so he knows, so Matthew Karch knows, we are standing behind you, dude, because this is ridiculous. And hopefully they don't turn on him, but IGN is the exact type of company to do that, and there are plenty of others that will too, whether it be Kotaku or Polygon or any of these other gaming sites. They will unleash the floodgates, and they are going to push for him to admit that he said it, so that then they can attempt to cancel him. So this is just something that needed to be talked about, and this is happening in industries all over the place. And I challenge people to stand up, because it's about time. We need to. Things are just getting bad, and this isn't great. And so just make the things that you believe in, be creative, be artistic, have fun, and just enjoy life. It is far too short to just spend it just absorbing and perpetuating this propaganda cycle. So, guys, that's it for today. I want to know your thoughts on MrBeast. I want to know your thoughts on this Warhammer 40k issue, and if you're playing the game, what you think about it. I have wanted to support them and actually bought the game yesterday just so I could support these guys. And, you know, with MrBeast, look, if he did it, you know, this is one of those innocent until proven guilty things. So we'll see what shakes out. But until tomorrow, guys, I'll be back with the news again. And make sure to, like I said, subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff means a ton. And I'll see you then. Later.